knock me down, I ain't going out. As the culture turns, you gotta figure it out. They see you getting it poppin', they gon' try and come around. I be down to go out like and keep it live round. In the blick, get you hit. Bitch, we gon' get you first. Don't get caught up in the mix. Better watch out for that blitz. Can't deny that I'm lit. You can't deny that I'm lit.
Can't deny that I'm lit. Gotta ride with your blick. Fuck watching for the ops. It be the cops to get you hit. I just right up off the porch. Mama said stay up out the mix. Niggas up when I was broke. They left me down on my dick.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to As the Culture Turns. My name is Jameer, and I'll be your host for today's episode. All right, now before I get into everything, I want to make sure that y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also make sure y'all hit that notification bell to stay tuned for more content just like this. For those who don't know you, can you let everyone know who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Sure. So I'm Taylor Diane. I am from Norwood, Pennsylvania, which is about 5 minutes from Chester and 5 minutes from the Philadelphia airport. I am the host of a new YouTube series that's coming out called CEO of Millennials. And I've been writing this show for about 5 years since we met, pretty much. So it's very exciting to get it off the ground. And then on top of that, I am also a stylist and I work at a costume boutique. I'm also a costume designer for a small production company that I also work with on my show. And I've been assisting on some bigger, more exciting jobs.
There we go. I like that. All right. So we definitely gonna get into everything you describe. But as me and Taylor mentioned in the beginning, we have crossed paths a couple times. So I ran into you a couple times. We was out there protesting, and we also worked on the show on the Making the Change Group Network together. So I'm going to play a clip of that, and then we will discuss.
Like, when snow is coming, are y'all those people that already have your refrigerator stocked and loaded, or are y'all like those last minute people like me and like, oh, let me go run and get a few things just in case? Like, which person are y'all when it comes to these snowstorms coming?
I went out yesterday. And I made sure that I had what I needed. The needs of somebody in Chester isn't exactly the same. They aren't in the same situation as some of the communities in Chester County. It's much more rural than Delaware. Make it this, to make it a food desert. Is that up to the city residents? To make it somewhere where they have that you don't really have businesses anymore, and that you have to build a highway to get people from outside of the city to come in.
But this is something that so many people need to get through their heads. Mm-hmm. It is not against the law to disrespect a police officer.
It's not.
It's not. Rude? But, sure. Being rude isn't against the law either.
But in a certain circumstances, we could lose our lives by doing it.
It's risky. No. It's definitely risky.
I'm just saying, for the people that defend police officers when they're like, oh, they should have just complied. They should have just done what they were supposed to do.
Done that, man.
Oh,
here. Hey, what's up, Taylor? How you doing? Don't worry, how you doing? I'm not recording anything. It's good. No, y'all both recording, man. I'm not recording or nothing, Yeah, so we live from CMPRadio.net. You want to say some words?
What's up? It's Taylor Diane. Jameer had me out a few weeks ago. We're in Ridley Township, representing for Black Lives Matter.
Exactly. So I want to ask this
to putting that together. Oh my God.
Right. A lot of moments we had together. So I want to ask you this, because you were doing a lot here in Pennsylvania. You were on the grounds protesting, organizing different things like that. So I saw one day that, you posted on social media that you was moving to New York, and then you explained at one point you was like a fake housewife. You sold your house. So I want to ask you, what went through your mind of what made you want to move to New York, and what was the process like moving from Pennsylvania and then going to New York?
Sure. So I went to college in Manhattan. I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology, So I spent like the ages of 18 to 20 here. So I had a foundation in New York. But I was in a relationship for like half a decade in Delaware County. I owned a home with this person and we went through a breakup, and I went through a time of what I kept calling it was like radical self-acceptance and radical self-love. And I was trying to put my lost ambitions to the forefront. And the thing that I had really felt that I lost the most and was always the most heartbreaking for me was that I left New York City. Like it always felt like my biggest failure. Mm-hmm. And now I'm so grateful that I did, and that I have this more rounded experience of living in the suburbs, like more like a regular American, because living in New York City, it's not regular life. Like no one can live like this. So I feel like in my whole story and like my character arc, it was important for me, especially what I'm doing now, to understand what the everyday American is going through, like what's important to them. So yeah, I did that, and I came back here and I started working at a hedge fund. I got headhunted into a hedge fund. It was actually where Jeff Bezos started. It was his only real job. So I came into this crazy world of finance, and I knew that it wasn't my passion, but I was making good money and I was getting a lot of experience, and I lost my job in August, and I really wasn't sure what to do or like where I was going to go next, but I knew it was going to be crazy. And I started doing stand-up, and I started working at this costume closet, and I started writing more and reconnecting with old friends. And I ended up meeting a production company and a celebrity stylist that I have a mutual connection with, and things have just really taken off from there.
There we go. I like that. So I like how you say that, because now you're in New York, living your best life as a stylist, from what I see. And as you mentioned, the costume designer, so I want to play a clip of you doing that, and then we will discuss that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just air her all of them, and then let's coordinate, decide which is our favorite, and then I want to show the ones.
Man, this shit don't make no sense. I just bought the man, this shit don't make no. I just threw it. Man, this shit. I just threw it. Eat back on my tongue. I'm really lit. I've been up 3 days straight. I'm trying to chase an end.
Stand by on this plate. Can you see the phone up, please? All right.
All right, so I want to ask you, can you take us into your day as a stylist? And you kind of mentioned, how it came about, but just take us there. Like, what is it like being a stylist? Is it freelance work? Is it hourly work? Like, bring us there.
So it is freelance work, and it's hard work. And especially as the assistant, I'm kind of like restarting my career, which has been humbling, but as an assistant, a lot of the brunt work is on you. So you're doing like a lot of the running around, picking up, returning clothes, getting the things that are last minute. But for Fashion Week, I can give you like a rundown. So I got to work with a singer for Fashion Week.
I got that video, so don't go too deep into that yet.
I won't. But I got to work with somebody that I, adore for Fashion Week, and some of the days we were doing like 3 looks a day. And there was at one point, we got her in a dress, and when she sat down, we realized she needed shorts, and I was like running down Fifth Avenue to H&M to get these shorts because she had 15 minutes before she needed to get in the limo, and like, oh my God, it was crazy. But I was much more equipped to do this when I was 18 years old, energy-wise. But now I have the determination, so it makes up for it. But when you showed some clips from the commercial that I was a part of for Mael hair products. And that was so exciting. I got to do that for a week, and the set hours are insane. Like, just for a 2-minute commercial, we were on set for 16 hours one day, 17 hours the next day, 10 hours the day after that. And then that doesn't include the returns or the picking, like all of the work that we did prior to us being on set. So it's really hard work, really long hours, and it's unpredictable, but it's incredibly rewarding to be able to have like a product at the end. And I've been like a dress up girl my whole life. I've always had like a costume trunk, and anytime I had an excuse, I would get dressed up. So to do it for a living now is just insane.
That is good. Listen, I like that because, again, it's like a full circle moment. You know, it was something that you went to school for and you were living that life in New York. You came back to a more simple life in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, and then you're back in the thick of it, you know? So I feel like, if, you know how they say, like, be careful what you ask for because you might get it. You know, you got it. But I also appreciate seeing that, you know, again, like you said, you're restarting a career. A lot of times we think we have to continue in the careers we're in that we built in our 20s, but, you know, to see you restarting as someone that's in our, you know, early 30s and different things like that is just the American dream, you know, that I think that a lot of people need to realize we got to do. So, you know, you're inspiring, definitely. Like, that's very inspiring. You also talked about, you know, the fashion week. So yeah, so the singer that Taylor Diane is talking about is singer Ari Lennox. So I got that clip real quick, and then you can go deeper into how it was working Fashion Week and working with Ari Lennox in particular.
Ari over here. How are you? Thank you. Hello. Thank you.
So take us into Fashion Week, and again, styling, costume designing. Like, just take us there. We want to know how that went, and working with Ari Lennox, of course.
Sure. So Fashion Week was so exciting. I got a call from my friend, my colleague, my boss sometimes, Joytisha Bridges, on a Monday. And she said, hey, she lives in LA, and she was like, I'm not going to be in the city until Wednesday. Ari Lennox is there right now. Can you go meet her tomorrow? So it was just off to the races, and I was able to get Ari ready for the first night. We had a few different outfit changes, and then the next day, it was just 8 days I was with Ari all together, and it was a beautiful time. And it's just such, I said, and I mean this, like, I feel like when women come together to get ready, it is so beautiful, and like such vulnerable conversations happen. And it was a group of really talented, driven women that came together to make this other woman like feel beautiful for these events. And it was just such a powerful space. And yeah, it's really mind-boggling. Like, I'm watching these videos that you're putting together and looking at my life. I'm like, wow, you're making me look so cool. Like, it's it's so unbelievable. I just can't, like, I can't believe. But working with Ari was incredible. She's an incredible artist, an incredible woman. She is so deep and soulful and connected and empathetic. And I can't say enough good things about her. I, consider her a friend now, and I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity just to be in those rooms. I'm very excited for her new album to come out. Everybody better be streaming Smoke right now. But yeah, it just, I guess what you were saying, like, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
Right.
It's just been this like delayed kind of gratification of I didn't realize I was working towards all of my dreams while I was doing it. And then they just started to happen as soon as I moved the things that were blocking my blessings out of the way. Like the things and people that were roadblocks for me, I had to find the strength to move past. And once I was able to really put myself first and like know who I was and where I'm coming from and my value system, I was able to make these crazy things happen. And we're just in the beginning, baby.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, you just getting started, and it's a pretty good start. Well, I got a two-part question. First of all, I want to talk about the cost of living in New York. You know, how to adjust from, you know, somewhere in Philly where you can get somewhere with a little bit more space, as opposed to in New York. Even though I saw your space and your space is nice, you feel me? So, can you just tell us about the cost of living? Like for anybody that's thinking about coming to New York to follow their dream, like, you know, just let us know a little bit about that cost of living just so they can be aware.
So I'm going to preface it with this. The cost of living is higher, and I call it the opportunity tax. You have, again, the opportunity to do whatever you want here, and that's why you're paying more to live here. That being said, I owned my home in Delco, and my mortgage was like $1,600 a month, a little bit over that, for a 3-story, 4-bedroom Victorian house. And now I'm in a 2-bed duplex with a small backyard for $3,500 a month that I rent. So it is vastly more expensive. And that being said, I found that I was able to like sacrifice different parts of my life to be able to be here. And like sometimes hopefully we pop off, girl, because the credit card is there. The credit card debt is real. It is expensive to live here, and I don't know if money is real or not, but hopefully I don't live to find out. But you know, we'll figure it out. I don't know. I'm broke right now. I just cashed out my 401k to be able to pursue this show and like really pursue my dreams, and I believe it's gonna work out.
That's good. No, I like that. And speaking of the show, because we about to definitely roll right into that, you know, because you are starting a YouTube show, a variety show called the CEO of Millennials, you know. So as always, I got a clip of that because I want people to see a visual of what you've been working on. And I want to discuss this real quick because I definitely think this makes sense for someone like you for sure. So let's play this clip and then we will discuss.
You're stuck, Step Kevin?
And CEO, scene 4H, take 1. Alright, we're just gonna wait.
Oh my god, they've killed Kenny!
Culture turns, all I see is destruction. We living in a lonely world full of corruption. Be mindful, every action come with repercussions. Never second guess your gut feeling, you gotta trust it. As the culture turns, all I see is destruction. We living in a lonely world full of corruption. Be mindful, every action come with repercussions. Never second guess your gut feeling, you gotta trust it.
You're so good. Like, can I just say to your viewers, I was on Jameer's like first podcast ever, and the growth is crazy. Like oh my gosh, I'm just so proud of you. Wow. Like, thank you for putting all this together. It's making me want to cry. Okay.
No problem. No, thank you. No, I appreciate that. You know, yeah, she was definitely on the podcast. I had it when I was at the radio station before, you know, and now being someone, and that's why I want to have this conversation with you, being someone because, you know, I am the host, the producer, the showrunner. Like, I do everything on my own, you know. So, you know, being in a position where I was doing something at a station, didn't really know what I was, you know, not saying I didn't know what I was doing, but, you know, I was just showing up as talent, you know, whereas now I have to be all of that, you know. So thank you for that. I do appreciate that for sure. And that's why I like to do stuff like this, because I like to take us through our journeys, so we can see where we came from and where we at now, So about, CEO of Millennials, can you let us know about that? I love your whole rollout. I love the name of the show. Like, break it down for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I came up with the name CEO of Millennials like 5 years ago. I think there was a meme going around where people were calling themselves the CEO of different things. And I was like, I'm the CEO of Millennials. So I made it my Facebook bio, and then I looked and there was like, nobody had taken the handle yet. So I just took the handle on all platforms, had no idea what I was going to do with it. And then when I was going through my breakup, it was like a shit posting page where I was just posting like memes. And then I started to really write in the past year. Like we've worked in these circles for a long time, and I had my other podcast, The American Divide, where I was talking about political issues from like all sides of the spectrum. So I had been on the road to like kind of be in this position, or had wanted to be in this position. But I came up with some episode concepts and started to really find my footing, like what my real beliefs are, like my real political beliefs and my value system. I think values are so important, and I don't think we talk about them enough. And like, I think like I couldn't identify my values a few years ago. I really had to like take a deep dive. And so anyway, all that being said, I went to my friend's birthday party in December. A guy came up to me because he liked my outfit. It ended up, you gotta have that shit on.
Right.
So we got to talking, and he said that he had this production company and they had a costume designer that had just moved. So we met and they make horror shorts, which is like my favorite thing in the world. So we met to talk costume design, and they were like, if you ever have any ideas. So I said, well, I've been writing the show for like 5 years, started to pitch it to them. Some of my really obscure comedy and like political references they knew. So I knew we were off to a good start. And just like such a full circle moment. So one of my favorite comedians is Tim Dillon, and he has an opener that works with him, Dan Carney. And I have seen them both live like multiple times. I had no idea that my production company did all of Dan Carney's work for like a period of time, all of his video work. So it's just like so spiritual. I feel just like the signs are just like everywhere. So yeah, when I started telling them the premise of my show and just that I was very inspired by Tim Dillon, and they were like, oh, like, yeah, we know exactly what you're talking about. So it was just, it felt fated. It is already written, is what I keep saying.
No, that's good. No, I wanna dig deeper into that because so with CEO of the Millennials, and I like how you described it as like a variety show, so you talk about like comedy. I feel like it wouldn't be Taylor if you didn't do like some type of political commentary, but so working with the production company, and I don't want to get their name wrong. Is it Barrow Entertainment?
Bay One.
Sorry, yeah, Bay One Entertainment. So, is this like a solo show? Is it gonna be a panel? Like, because the rollout of it seems very like American. And again, I had to put some of my music over the because I copyright and all that, so I had to put some of that over there. I know the first episode didn't come out yet, but give us a little bit of the format if you can.
Absolutely. So our sound production guy, Phil, he came up with a great explanation of it. He called it, if The Daily Show and InfoWars had a baby that was chronically online. So there's a large inspiration taken from The Daily Show and like late night talk shows, like 60 Minutes even, but it's a satirical news program. We are presenting real factual information in what I hope people find is a funny way. And so it'll be a lot of me at the news desk, me in the field interviewing people. We do have some characters that will be coming to help us tell our stories, maybe some historical figures that you may or may not recognize coming in to help. And then of course, it would not be a Taylor show if we didn't have the conspiracy aspect of it. So for every topic that we cover, and I can tell you guys, so our first episode is going to be about Luigi Mangione and the history of healthcare in the United States. And I would be remiss if I did not have a section on the conspiracies behind what's going on here. So for every episode that we have, there will be a segment, and that will be kind of be like, I'm going to keep that in close to the chest so far, how we're going to roll this part out. But yeah, we're going to have a segment of conspiracies that I think people are going to find really fun. And I hope to make it like a community. Like I want people that are into the same things as me to request topics, like request show topics, to really be a part of the conversation. I also want to present information as factually as I can and as like non-biasedly as I can, because I want the viewer to be able to decide where they lie on things. I think for this first episode, you might figure out where I stand on the issue. But going forward.
No, I get it for sure. And that's the Luigi one. You know, I saw the promo pictures for that and everything. And, you know, I did want to ask about that because, again, while I don't want you to spoil it, you know, from what I saw, it feels as though that you are in favor of Luigi.
No, because the show really is about we really want people to understand who Luigi is, where he comes from, what the healthcare system is, how we got here. Was it always this way? And you know, what has happened since Luigi allegedly alleged,
right?
So I won't even say Luigi, since Brian Thompson's murder, just like some of the changes that we've seen happen, both good and bad, in the country, and the conversation that's been started over it. So I'm glad to talk about my feelings about this. You know, obviously I am not somebody who is a proponent of people pew-pewing other people. However, when we allow corporate violence against citizens lawfully, where are we left as the people? Because I really just take it to, like, if you go to Piers Morgan interviewing Peter Thiel and him being at Peter Thiel, the, you know, big tech tycoon. Piers Morgan straight up asked him, like, well, what do you have to say to people that really don't agree with the healthcare system and think that it's killing people? And he starts sweating profusely and is like, well, it's a battle of the idea. It's not a battle of the ideas anymore. It is a battle of the pockets. And we have been so radically pushed away from being able to own or obtain any capital as regular citizens. And now, like, our political system it's not rigged in a way. It's not new. This is capitalism, right? Like, the more capital you have, the bigger your voice is, the more your opinions matter. And when that is the case, it is ridiculous for a billionaire to go on the news and tell people that it is a battle of the ideas. So anyway, I hope that I covered where I stand there. But yeah, I think that there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of American children without parents because of things that the healthcare system has chosen to do in the name of profit. And if one man lost his life who became incredibly wealthy off of this system. If that causes change, I'm okay with it. And I don't know what else to say. Like, peaceful protest doesn't get us anywhere in this country. The only reason why civil rights went through was because there was a boycott for 18 months. People stopped spending their money in white banks. And that's the only reason why things change. So unless we go after those with big pockets, I'm not saying, I don't know what way, like I'm not saying violently. However, like, these are our enemy. The right is not our enemy. The left is not our enemy. That to me is a distraction at this point. This is an up-down issue. And I feel really bad right now. I think I'm getting on whatever, but I feel really bad right now, especially for like Trump voters. Like, I think people that voted for Trump were feeling incredibly disenfranchised, and like I don't paint all Trump voters as like racist and homophobic, and I just think that that's not realistic. So over half the country is like, no, I just don't believe that. I think that people are hurting. They're being lied to. They're being propagandized, and they only have one of two ways to turn, and they went that way. And now you're seeing veterans that probably voted for him, federal workers being fired from their jobs, losing everything. Oh, and they believed that this man was going to help them. I don't feel any vindication that these people are hurting because they voted for Donald Trump. Like, I feel bad. They're another American citizen that was lied to, that fell for the propaganda. There are millions and gazillions of dollars of propaganda in our faces every day. If we don't fall for it, that's a miracle. So like, I just have a lot of empathy for all American citizens right now and what we're all experiencing. And I wish that we could see more of each other's humanity rather than like what ballot we filled out.
Exactly. And we do gotta get to a place like that and everything. And I do agree. I've evolved over the years where I don't necessarily think every Trump voter is racist or is, homophobic or different things, But I do like to go by this Maya Angelou quote: when somebody show you who they are the first time, believe them, So I do feel as though that a lot of things, like you said, like, before, like with the civil rights movement, how they were, they boycotted and everything, like things. But I think in today's world, where a lot of us are comfortable, a lot of people tend to forget that there were a time where, again, things just wasn't right for everyone, So I think, sadly, this had to happen in order for people to see, because, there is a big conversation online about like a lot of Black people. We really like learning to just like sit this one out right now. And the reason why we say sit this one out, because the majority of our community voted the opposite direction, And it's not to say, again, there weren't white people who voted for Kamala or whatever, but it's to the point now where we just have to let things play out. And again, I do think that Black people are going to get in the ring, but right now it's a fight that everybody has to join in everything, because again, it's almost as if, things got to get really bad before they get great again, and I hate to see that, because I'm a healthcare worker and I can see what this will do to, the people that I work for that depend on Medicaid, that depend on their Social Security and different things like that, just to live and pay their rent, and to be able to live there, So I can see it from all ends, but I'm definitely at the point now where I'm not like blaming people, I'm just hoping that this can bring us back together, because again, a lot of people are going to feel this, and again, a lot of people did have faith and hope in him, but hopefully we can just continue to just live in a democracy after this, and then we can just, again, just come together and not make it so political. The world is so divided. It's just a lot, So I agree with that for sure, and I do believe that's something that you're going to kind of bring to your show, So I want to say before we get out of here, for anyone that want to like, follow you on social media, they want to stay tuned with everything that you got going on, and different things like that, where can they find you at on there? And also, CEO of Millennials, is there going to be certain days of the week it's going to come on? Like, just get that whole spiel.
Absolutely. So you can find us on all platforms at CEO of Millennials, and that's Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want. YouTube, most importantly, please go subscribe. Our first episode is coming out next Sunday, March 2nd, and it will be in the evening. I don't have an exact time yet, but you can go on our Instagram and fill out the little reminder, and it will send you a notification. And we are going to, hopefully right now, our plan is to have 2 releases a week. But that rollout is still in the process, so stay tuned. But right now, our plan is to release on Sunday nights. So you can start your week with us, with the CEO of Millennials.
There we go. I like that for sure. Listen here, Taylor. I'm looking at me about to say, like, it's been great knowing you. I'm not saying it like that because I'm pretty sure this is not goodbye or anything, you know. But the time that, you know, I've gotten to meet you, you know, I've had nothing but positive experiences with you, you know, whether people try to tell me different or not. I've had great experiences with you, and I just feel like you've always have been someone who, you know, fought for issues that didn't necessarily affect you, you know, but you were willing to, you know, advocate for other people, you know. So I think it's a great thing that you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing. And I believe this investment you're making into this YouTube show and then in yourself is going to pay off. You know, it's all about the determination and how far you're willing to take this through, you know. So continue to keep doing great things. And I hope and know that we will, you know, come across each other soon at some point in time. So definitely keep doing your thing, Taylor.
I just want to put this out there that 5 years ago, Jameer told me that he wanted to have like the breakfast club of his own one day.
Right.
And I know. I said to you then, we're going to be sitting at that table like, holy shit, we can't believe how far we've come. And I'm just looking at us right now 5 years later, and I can't wait to see where we are 5 years from now, my friend.
Exactly. No, thank you so much. Thank you for remembering that too. Thank you. Good people like that is hard to come by, you know. So again, thank you, Taylor, for coming on, you know, as the culture turns, the revamp version. Thank you for, you know, just, you know, coming here to talk about the show, talk about the growth and everything, you know. So again, for those of you all that's watching, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow As the Culture Turns on Instagram at As the Culture Turns. You can also like us on Facebook. And if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me at Jameer with 3 underscores that you see on the screen. All right, so this has been another As the Culture Turns conversation. And stay tuned for more just like this.